What's up, Sagittarius? Welcome to your June 2021 general reading. This is going to be for you, Sag, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, but of course it's not going to, hit home for all of you guys, so definitely check out your other placements if you need some added messages. There's a lot going on this month, as most of you probably already know. Gemini season is on its own a pretty kind of wacky, can be flippy floppy, wishy-washy season, although it's kind of fun. I think fire signs and air signs do a little bit better in Gemini season, but we've also got so much going astrologically. One thing I do want to hit on is we are having this solar eclipse in Gemini, which is going to be big, right? When we're talking to Sages, we're talking about 7th house energy, which is about relationships. So, eclipses are big, whether they're a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse. They are basically a full moon or a new moon on steroids. This is a new moon, so this is a really, really great time to set those new intentions and kind of try to manifest what you're trying to accomplish within the next 6 months, right? Solar eclipse and lunar eclipse energy, we're kind of doing 6-month projections. So really great time for that. But because this is an eclipse, that can bring some major changes, especially to your relationships, your intimate relationships, your work relationships and partnerships. So that's something to be mindful of. And I just want to say to, maybe make sure that you're moving cautiously when dealing with everybody at this time, because again, your relationships are being highlighted, but we are also in the middle of a Mercury retrograde, which can make communication a little funky, right? Communication can be a little bit off. There can be delays, especially in travel. So make sure that you're allowing enough time for yourself to get from point A to B. Technology can get a little wonky, all the things you can hear from X. So there's a lot of that type stuff going on. We are also having a full moon in Capricorn at the end of the month on the 24th, which will be hitting your 2nd house. So it's really, really good for your finances. Especially because at that time, Mars will be in Leo as well. Mars is actually going into Leo tomorrow. Well, I can't say. I don't know when this is going to come out. Hopefully Friday, but it should, Friday, okay? Mars goes into Leo on Friday. And that's really good in terms of, well, for you guys, a lot to do with travel. Leo is your 9th house. So we're talking about like that Sagittarius energy of like travel and philosophy, higher learning. You guys might be feeling compelled to maybe learn some new things, take some new courses, be open to different types of philosophy or spirituality. Again, travel. There's a lot that can happen right now. So let's see what this means for you guys. Now, the unseen energy you've got is the King of Swords. Now, King of Swords, he's a very decisive king, right? All kings are the master of their suit. So we're talking about sword energy. We're talking about intellect. We're talking about communication. We're talking about decision-making skills. We're talking about being an authority, being respected in that way, smarts, all of that. So I do like this for you guys because it feels like even though we are in Mercury retrograde and a lot of times things can be really, really unclear and a little bit foggy, and the fact that we were just, Mars was in Cancer, which isn't the best fit. It feels like for you guys, your decision-making skills are pretty strong at this time. You're actually being very open to what it is that you're wanting. And you know what? Solar eclipses can do that too, because when these eclipses hit, you kind of like those months leading up to it, all the things that kind of agitate you or feel like they're off balance or like there's no disharmony in certain things with like your relationships with people or whatever, these things kind of come to the surface and you can't help but want to kind of attack them. So I do like that you guys are in this position of, feeling very decisive, feeling very strong in your decisions, communication being very good, very clear. All of that is really, really good. Now you guys have first of all, you have hella wands. You have all wands, okay? Except for that King of Swords that's sitting here at the bottom. And then you got 10 of Cups in your environment. So pretty fiery, okay? Even though there's like all these retrogrades and things going on, because it's Mercury, Saturn, June will be retrograde. Like there's a lot of things going on. And even though we've got all that, you guys got all this fiery energy. So we start off with 2 of Wands, 10 of Wands, Prince of Wands, which in this deck is Knight of Wands. It's really, really interesting. When I first pulled these cards, you know, especially going back to like the relationship thing. So I pulled the 2 of Wands and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, we're trying something new. There's new things brewing. And then I was like, I pulled the 10 of Wands and I was like, uh-oh, burden. Okay, cool. And then I was like, Prince of Wands, I was like, oh, okay, are we dating? Are we trying something new? So of course, this isn't going to fit everybody, but I will say for some of you, it almost seems like you've welcomed in a new experience most recently. You know, you said you were going to try something new, maybe date a different type of person, put yourself out there in some type of new way. And you might have quickly found that this is something that brings more drama or more stress or just more friction than what you feel is necessary in your life right now. And then some of you guys, it seems like, will be back on the grind. Cool. That may resonate for some of you guys. What I found interesting was when I looked at this 10 of Wands card, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but this is just how the messages are coming to me. When I look at this 10 of Wands card, you see that those wands are being held by this floral print, I don't know, rag. Very reminiscent of the floral print, I mean, slightly different hues, but the floral print in the Queen of Wands card, which immediately struck me. It's almost as if like you find yourself in a situation this month where you might have taken on too much too fast, might have maybe, you know, kind of jumped the gun on some things, and then you find yourself in this place at the end freeing yourself. So that's really, really interesting. For others of you, like I said, it can go either way, really. There is going to be a lot of emphasis on relationships though this month. For others of you, you know, you could be trying something new within the relationship that you're already, you know, in. You could be trying something new altogether if you're not dating anybody. And especially with work, this could be about you guys trying new experiences. This could be about you traveling with work. This could be about you, I mean, anything that's kind of new and unfamiliar. This is kind of about you guys taking a step out and looking and wanting to do something new. But going back to what I was saying about relationships, look at this. I pulled 4 of Cups. So back to my first storyline that came to my head. Some of you guys may have decided, you know, maybe at the end of May or even, you know, deciding now, like, no, I you know, let me try something new, because you either dissatisfied with the options that are in front of you right now, or even after finding that something new, you could have found that it brought you more stress than not. Now, what I will say is if it's that situation, it doesn't feel like that was anybody new. That would be for the people who maybe you are going back trying to give something a second chance, but maybe you thought you could do it with this fresh in the beginning, but then find that not much has changed. The relationship hasn't changed. The person hasn't changed. The circumstances haven't changed. And then we've got the Death card. It's interesting too, because not only is this month, right, the month of June, and this solar eclipse very closely connected to your relationships. Venus in Cancer, that's hitting your 8th house. 8th house is Scorpio energy. 8th house is death. So for many of you, this seems like something coming to an end. You know, Lover's card showing up here. And then look, 9 of Pentacles right after that, Single Ladies card. Because maybe it just took that one last go around to figure out that something was actually more toxic than you thought. Maybe it was something that you thought you could work through, and then you feel, you know, you figure out quickly that no, this isn't the best situation for you. Okay. Some of you, that's you. Also, I do want to make the note of health. Make sure you're watching your health. Make sure you're moving your body a lot this month if you can. Make sure you're being a little bit more mindful of the things that you're putting in your body. Because especially if you are in a situation where maybe you've got some stressful situations about you, that mental stress is already enough for the body. So at least be trying to make sure that you are taking care of yourself in the best way that you can, but definitely movement is necessary. Oh my God. Yeah, some of you guys, I did not think this was going to turn out this way. I mean, I knew the probability was high just because of the way the planets are lined up, but some of you guys are really leaving a situation, right? Again, Knight of Wands, he goes on adventures. His whole purpose is to go about and figure out what it is that he wants to do, where he belongs. He follows his passions, right? He doesn't stay tied down to anything because they say or he says or mom says or God says or church says. He does what's good for him, right? He is always going to do what's best for him. Right? If we didn't have this energy, we wouldn't ever know what it is we're actually into and what it is that we actually want to do, because it is kind of that get up and go energy. Now, the Six of Swords, this is about taking your lessons that you've learned and moving on with them, right? This is about moving where, waters were really rocky and turbulent, and now you're moving on to where things are smoother and make more sense and like fit the vibe of what you're trying to do and where your life is trying to go. So a lot of you guys, I will say, it feels like there's, or whoever this, resonates with, there may have been ooh, let me try this out. And then it's like, somewhere along the line this month that, you figure out that maybe this, maybe we split before because we needed to split before, right? Maybe we just needed to. The beautiful thing about right now too, Saturn being retrograde, when Saturn is direct, it's very apparent in the external, right? It's almost, it could feel like that like nagging person that's like breathing on your neck, like, hey, you need to do this, hey, you need to do that, hey, you need to pay that, hey, you need to call them, hey, you need to, you know what I mean? Like it's that very adulting energy, or like very just that energy of authority that tells you how you should be doing you. Now, when Saturn goes retrograde, things go a little bit more internal and we kind of lose that edge of the pressure from society and ourselves, especially because it's retrograde in Aquarius, right? Which they are the rebels. So, and this is going to be happening till I believe it's like October 10th or something. So this is a really great time for everyone collectively. And, especially starting now, we're in the season of, I think, of Gemini, to really be thinking about what we want for ourselves going forward, right? And I think that's what you guys are doing. But I'm gonna be honest, some of you guys, it seems like we're moving, trying to move along with something because you thought it was the best, even maybe for your family. Maybe if this is a relationship, you're like, oh, maybe we could try this out because then if we can, then we can become a family and we can do this and we can do that. But that 8th house energy, Venus in Cancer for you, it's shutting something down for many of you. But I don't see it as a bad thing. You got Page of Wands. Maybe some of you have children. There might be a lot of emphasis on your children this month, which is a good thing too, right? Because it's a month of relationships. It doesn't matter what types of relationships. But I do feel like, the Page of Wands, all pages are messengers, but the Page of Wands, especially, like, he's an explorer. Like, look, he's out there chilling with the pyramids and stuff. So again, there's more things about travel. It might be a great idea for those of you guys, maybe take a family trip or just like a little like vacation, like maybe take a little weekend down to the beach or something like that. I think something like that will be really good for you guys, especially if you've been having these other issues in relationships. I think it will help you to, give you some peace of mind. Also, there's chances of meeting someone, just so you know. Now, the next card is Hopes and Fears, Celebration, which is the Four of Wands, which is the 1111 card. I think there is disappointment in this if this is something that you guys had to let go of. But I don't see it as, I don't know. I just it just feels like some of you guys were so convinced that it was this person or had to be this way, and this is how you were going to catch your blessings, and this is how you're going to get the things that you wanted. But I just think that there's other things brewing here for you that maybe you hadn't even considered. I love this Fool card. It's sitting right next to the Queen of Wands, which, look at, they're both kind of in the same position of just feeling really free and liberated and vibrant and ready to take chances and do something new. So, ooh, child. Ooh, and an Ace of Cups and a Four of Wands. For many of you, if something ended, don't be sad. I feel like I just feel like it was supposed to. I feel like you're going to get the things you want, just not from the vessel that you thought you were trying to get it from at this time, you know? Queen of Wands is being clarified by the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is waiting for your ships to sail in. You know, with this Gemini energy, this Gemini solar eclipse energy, it's really, really good to use this energy to kind of figure out what you want to do for those next 6 months, right? This is about, you know, the Three of Wands follows the Two of Wands of making the plan and, you know, deciding to do something different. And this is just waiting for the ships to sail in. But in the meantime, you're feeling good. You're looking great, right? You're vibrant. You're adventurous. You're open, you know? I think it's a really good thing. Just saying. Just saying. Okay, you guys got savings. As you consistently save for your future is saved. You do your future self a big favor as you consistently set aside present funds. This is part of your self-care and path to feeling secure as you focus upon your life purpose. Yes, yes. So making sure you are saving, watching those funds. I know it feels like money might be a somewhat, you know, a focus for you guys this month too, especially with that full moon and Capricorn energy. I just want to say, make sure that you guys are equally focusing on the work that you do and how, you know, the quality of that, as well as the finances, right? Because as long as you're focusing on the quality, for some reason I'm getting, it's like as long as you're focusing on the quality of work and the work that you do, the finances are going to come. Like they're just coming, right? And then you guys also got, it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive highest energy of all. It is safe for you to love, right? And love doesn't just belong to people we're intimate with. Love belongs to everybody, right? It's safe for you to love. It's safe for you to be open. So like even in this situation, if this applies to you and maybe you found a hiccup within a relationship, you know, don't give up. It's safe for you to love. Like this is how we, you know, through the disappointment sometimes is how we learn exactly what it is that we want. And yeah, keep that in mind, okay? I love you guys. I hope that this was helpful for somebody. If you would like a personal reading, you can reach out to me at shesvibetarot@gmail.com, or you can go to the link that's in my About tab if you would like to schedule a live reading, and then you can just do it all right there. Okay? I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, Sag.